Hey, what's going on, everybody? MysterySchooler here. How are you all today? Today we're going over the true story of the Roerich family expedition, Rourke family expedition. This was funded by the U.S. and allegedly also the Soviets. It's kind of a double spy thing going on. I don't know. We're going to go over in detail here. How are you all today? Thanks for being here. Now, the Roerichs were searching for the legendary kingdom of Shambhala, also known as Agartha. Now, what it is the subterranean realm is known as Agartha, and Shambhala is its capital city. During the 5-year expedition, they disappeared for 1 year, somewhere near the Himalayas, which is, where they say some of the entrances to the inner earth is in Tibet and places like that. No one knows what transpired at this time. However, journal entries from Nicholas Rourke do mention a brief UFO encounter, and somehow they received some sort of magical stone. Yeah, check out these ballers over here. You guys think Indiana Jones is cool? Indiana Jones ain't got shit on the Rourkes, I'll tell you right now. These guys are the real deal over here. In the middle over there, with his arms folded like a baller, that's Nicholas Rourke. I'm going to talk a little bit about the family's history before we even get into it, the expedition. These guys are really famous occultists or mystics, whatever you want to call it. They're really into the Hermetic philosophy and things like that. Really deep into it. Very similar to the Thule Society and things like that, which are getting popular at the time. Yeah, but check out that rabbit hole if you'd like sometime. We're going to talk about the expedition now, though. But yeah, these guys are not just regular normies, is what I'm trying to say. Now, before we get any further, I'd like to just get kind of a mental image of what's going on, what we're picturing, what we're looking for here, what they're looking for in this. Why are they looking for this, right? Like, why? What the hell? Why would the U.S. fund such a thing, right? Well, there is a depiction of a Sheol just below the Earth, and I think that's what we're talking about here. I think this is what they're looking for: is these large subterranean caverns, whatever you want to call them, massive. And yeah, the legends are consistent with that area being very spiritual. They have their own gods down there and everything. We're gonna cover that a little bit too. If you guys have never seen the movie, what's it called? I always call it Journey to Agartha, but that's not what it's called. It's called something weird like Children Who Listen to Radios at Night or something weird like that. But it's a really good movie. Gosh, I'll find out the title later. Oh, and I thought I mentioned right now, that Nicholas Rourke guy we were just looking at, he also painted what he saw. Okay, he made over 500 paintings, that guy. And this is one of them. It's titled The Last of Atlantis. What do you guys think? The first expedition was deemed a failure. However, this is likely not true because in 1933, President Roosevelt funded a second expedition. Again, the Rourke family disappeared for 3 months in the Himalayas. The Isn't that crazy? Roosevelt himself funded the expedition. Wonder why if it was a failure, why would they have the second one right away? Also, the Rourke Act was signed into power not too long later, like 10 years or 5 years later, or something like that. The Rourke Act is that museums and stuff like that basically be off limits for acts of war, and preservation of culture should take priority over acts of war, things like that, spoils of war, or something like that. That's interesting. The Rourke Pact, yeah, that's these guys, the Rourke family. That's where that pact is named after. Now, the ancient pre-Buddhist religion of Tibet, known as Bon, describes the entrance of Shambhala being west of Mount Kailash. Here's another one of Rourke's paintings, The Path to Tibet, 1925. And again, this isn't just these subterranean kingdoms. I mean, this is Mayan lore is consistent with that. Greek mythology has Hades. Native Americans have subterranean realms where the ant people live. This is all Eastern. What we're going to be going over today is they're in the East, Far East, or in Tibet and China and stuff. What I'm trying to get at here is that it's a worldwide. These legendary kingdoms below us with these spiritually supernatural beings inhabiting them is a worldwide myth, or whatever you want to call it. And that just fascinates me because I think that gives it credence. Like, okay, fine. If one culture has a myth about something and there's no correlations with reality and no correlations with any other cultures, then it could just very well be a myth. But when you have stories like this and the whole world describes it, I'll give you another example, the Great Flood. Do you really think the Great Flood was a myth? It's a worldwide. Every religion talks about it. It happened, man. It's similar with Shambhala. That's why I think it's such an interesting topic. First expedition, December 1923. Nicholas Rourke arrives in British India at the foot of the eastern Himalaya mountain. The journey would span 5 years, 35 mountain passes, 21,000 feet of elevation, and 15,000 miles of uncharted roads. By the end, 5 expedition members would die. Not only are the Himalayas uninhabitable, but at the time, foreigners were likely to be killed. It just turned into a military state or something like that recently. There was some turmoil in the government. I'm not sure exactly what at the time, but basically, foreigners were killed at the time, just were likely to be killed. So not only did these guys track all that distance we just went over, 35 mountain passes, the elevation, all that, they also were dealing with people trying to kill them the entire time. Now you got to ask yourself, if it's just a unfounded crazy myth or whatever, why is okay, here's the question list, right? Why is the U.S. funding them? Why are they putting their lives at so much risk and going through so much to search for this place in this location? Just for a myth? It's a little peculiar, don't you think? Also, if it's just a failure, like these guys just keep failing as they go over there, like the story is telling us, then why is there a pact named after the Rourke's signed like right after that? Like, give me a break, huh? Seems like they were pretty celebrated for failing, quote unquote, huh? There's another one of his paintings, Most Sacred, 1933. Yeah, this looks like a subterranean realm. What do we got over here? We got people burning a chalice. We got holding a chalice of fire. Praying around a figure or something. Praying around the chalice of fire. This looks like, are there some mystics down there? Tall people with robes are sighted around parts of the world, like Mount Shasta. There's a lot of sightings, people in robes walking around, tall people in robes walking around. So I wonder if they come out sometimes, or maybe they used to come out. I don't know. Yeah, I think basically the Agarthians, or whatever you want to call them, used to live up here. And then after the Cataclysm, the Kali Yuga, They went underground, but they're prophesied to come back. And Shambhala is prophesied to come out of hiding. We're going to cover that in a little bit here too. Now, Nicholas Rourke is basically the main character of the story, guys. Documented this journey in 2 diaries, one purely scientific and the other highly esoteric. He also created over 500 paintings. This is where it starts to get weird, guys. Yeah, before we even start, I want to point out that the things we're gonna go over his diaries, and it's his sightings and things like that are pretty consistent with legend as well. So I don't know. It's said that the spiritual radiance of Shambhala is so powerful that as one approaches, your consciousness is affected, making thoughts vague and leaving you with a feeling of overwhelming spiritual growth. Oh, and that chick on the left is his relative, Helen Roach, something like that. Roerich. She's supposed to be super psychic. She's like this renowned mystic. Yeah, and in the middle over there is just the Mercator map. The middle over here, I think, is where when the Agarthas used to live up here with us. The Agarthians used to live up here with us. I think that might have been there in the middle, right there. Boom. Before the Kali Yuga, it was paradise over there, basically. And yeah, big massive cataclysm happened, and now they live underground. As Roerich and company grew closer and closer to Shambhala, they experienced powerful visions, dreams, and repeated sightings above the campsite. Wow, how weird is that, huh? Gosh, imagine actually finding this place, huh? Would you come back? You gotta give them credit if they really did find it for coming back, because I wouldn't come back. I'd be like, no, I think I'll stay in the kingdom of heaven or whatever. Thank you, though, very much. I was watching this documentary talking about how it's possible, or there's correlations to suggest, I don't know exactly what, something with the Garden of Eden being affiliated with the Agartha, Legends of Agartha as well, that like the Garden of Eden could have possibly been a subterranean realm. I think the Garden of Eden was what we just looked at in the middle over there on the Mercator map, but yeah, it could be subterranean as well, for all we know, right? I thought that was interesting. Nicholas began recording manifestations of fire and strange lights over the campsite. He even painted what he saw. Nicholas claims to have been in contact with a very powerful being, granting him visions and helping guide him through the harsh tundra. Before the expedition even began, the Roerich family claimed to be in contact with a certain Master Moria, who allegedly prompted the expedition in the first place. Now, what do you guys think about that? Remember earlier we were saying, why would you do all this off a myth, right? Why would you risk your life in so many ways for a myth? Now, the story goes they were being led by this Master Moria even before they left for their expedition. So, yeah, this goes into Helen on the right there, psychic experiences or whatever you want to call it. I'm not saying it's true. I don't know. I'm just telling the story how it goes, but yeah, apparently she was in contact with this Master Moria guy, and he's guiding them to try to get to Shambhala. Imagine that, huh? I mean, they were pretty confident in the legitimacy of these psychic visions or messages or whatever, or channeling, or whatever you want to call it, because to risk their life in such a way, right? I'm just saying, if they were bullshitting, why would they go risk their life in such a way afterwards? That's all I'm saying. Make sense? Like, it's just a parlor trick, right? Like, oh, I'm not really psychic. I just do that to make people think I'm cool or something, right? Huh? Why would they risk their lives in such a way? And why would the U.S. fund the expedition? Unless there's more to the story we were not being told. Yeah. Here's another one of his paintings. It's pretty consistent with the fire over his chair over the campsite. This painting is called Sophia, the Wisdom of the Almighty, 1932. In his paintings, he depicted a figure he believed to be the ruler of Shambhala. This is consistent with local mythology, guys. A being, according to ancient prophecy, was destined to appear on earth for the final destruction of the wicked, the renovation of creation, and the restoration of purity. Again, according to the Rourke family, telepathic communication was what prompted the expedition in the first place. What the hell? So, what is going on here? Let's go check on the chat real quick, see what's going on. All right, we got Sasquatch Mind Control. All right, Michael Kahn, what's up, buddy? Great to see you, brother. Oh, Sasquatch Mind Control says Sophia means wisdom. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Wow. Sophia, the wisdom of the Almighty. It's gonna be like wisdom, the wisdom of the Almighty. Okay, cool. And thanks for being here, everybody. Welcome, everyone. One of the final entries in Nicholas's diary was of a disc-shaped craft that several expedition members witnessed. This sighting is interesting because it is 24 years before before UFOs became a public interest. This sighting of a UFO near an inner-Earth civilization is very similar to Admiral Byrd's account in the Arctic. Now, I welcome you guys to explore that rabbit hole as well if you're interested in subterranean realms. That would be Admiral Byrd of the United States Naval Forces. He led an expedition to Antarctica, the story goes. And it's supposed to be true. When they got to Antarctica, he was attacked by a disc-shaped craft said to be allegedly the Nazis had a base up there. I don't know. And Admiral Byrd was on a small plane in the Arctic, and this is the story. I don't know. And he got pulled by a tractor beam to a city of tall people that were very intelligent. Yeah, I don't know. It's a trip. We're not going to go to that whole story right now, but yeah, Admiral Byrd, check out that rabbit hole. But it's interesting because that's supposed to be an inner Earth entrance, he claims, and there's also UFOs there. And now we have the Rourkes on the other side of the world near an inner Earth entrance, and they're having UFO sightings 24 years before UFOs became a public interest. I don't know. I thought that was a trip. Wow, what do you guys think? You think it's real? There's some depictions of Agartha with a sun down there, like they have their own sun. You know, the mainstream narrative does tell us that there's heat down there. So I wonder if they're telling us truth, but in a twisted way, right? The best lies are the truth or the best lies have hints of truth in them. So I wonder if they're pulling one of those, like, oh yeah, there's heat down there. It's just lava, lol, or whatever. But really, it's a sun or something. Who knows? As above, so below. Yeah, maybe they have their own sun down there. Maybe the way your skin reacts, the melanins from that sun is different than the melanins from this sun, and maybe that'll make your skin a different color. Which is interesting because some people, there's a whole book on it, speculate that the Vedic gods actually are from the North Pole, from the center on that Mercator map. And if they were indeed had subterranean access to subterranean realms with a different sun, maybe that's what made their skin blue. I don't know. I'm just speculating. Trippy stuff, though. This is from Rourke's diary with the UFO sighting. On August 5th, something remarkable happened. We were in our camp in the Kukanor district in the morning, about 9:30. We noticed a remarkable big black eagle flying above us. 7 of us began to watch this unusual bird. At this same moment, another of our caravaneers remarked, "There is something far above the bird." We all saw in a direction from north to south something big and shiny, reflecting the sun, like a huge oval moving at great speed. Crossing our camp, it changed direction from south to southwest. We saw how it disappeared in the intense blue sky. We even had time to take out our field glasses and saw quite distinctly an oval form with shiny surface, one side of which was brilliant from the sun. Wow, so what do you guys think? Because, they got us thinking right now that alien means from, this outer space. But, and, that means they want us to think that's like above your head or whatever. But is outer space really, just outer spaces from like our territory, like, on Earth? Like, are these beings and these UFOs from outer spaces actually from realms below us, outer spaces below us or spaces around us and caverns? You get what I'm saying? Or maybe outside of the ice wall, perhaps? I don't know. Yeah, Alexander the Great allegedly also saw UFOs as well. And he saw them going in and out of the water, the ocean. So, and the Naga are also beings that are depicted as reptilian that are supposed to come from underground chambers as well, kingdoms as well. And yeah, they're reptilian. And they're very likely, I would think, are good swimmers. Could be sea serpent kind of beings, So I don't know. Maybe those things are in those UFOs, and maybe that's their ships, huh? I don't fucking know. Why else would you want to go underwater unless you could now, swim or something? A city down there or something that you can live in. I don't know. Interesting. It was after this event, Rourke and his crew disappeared, despite being heavily monitored by US, British, and Chinese intelligence. The Rourkes were declared dead. However, for 5 of the months they were missing, they were in an internment camp with brutal conditions. In 1928, they were released and sent home. Wow, so they went missing for a while and everybody thought they were dead. But the story says they were in an internment camp, but then they were released. But it's strange because usually in this situation, the foreigners would be killed. It was strange that they were released. Did they really find Agartha in this time they were missing? And this is simply a cover story? Because if you look into it, it's pretty dark stuff, but you were very unlikely to be sent home in those circumstances. You were captured a foreigner back then, and you were just killed. So, yeah, we're not going to get too much into it here, but yeah, interesting stuff. So, yeah, they made it, though. They survived. Whew. They were declared dead for a minute there. At first glance, it would seem to be a failed mission. However, Nicholas Rourke's diary suggests they did in fact find the legendary city. When Nicholas's diary was finally made public, there is a strange entry recorded. In a remote valley, an old monk led them to the back of an ancient temple with an opening that was blocked by carefully cut stones. The monk stated that it was a holy entrance to the inner earth kingdom of Shambhala and forbid them from entering. Now, I'm just speculating here, but it seems like the Rourkes were pretty determined to get to Shambhala. Is it possible that they waited till that guy went to sleep or something and then tried to get in there and got captured? Got caught trying to get in there, enter, trespass, or whatever you want to call it in there. And maybe that's how they got captured in that internment camp we were just talking about, if that did happen. I don't know. I'm just saying, it doesn't seem likely to me that the Rourkes would just be like, oh, okie dokie, I guess we're not going in there then, right? Just traveled across the whole world up like 35 mountains, motherfucker. What do you mean you can't go in there? Yeah, look into it, though. Tibetan religions and stuff, Buddhists, whatever. They're their palaces and stuff are actually set up as entrances to subterranean realms, and they do the dragons are very much depicted very similar to the Naga. Strangely enough, even though the mission was publicly deemed a failure, the U.S. sponsors of the journey were so pleased with the results that the Roerichs were sent back to the Himalayas, 1933 to 1935. Seems strange they'd be willing to go back considering they were just in an internment camp and sent back after all these brutal conditions, right? Seems strange they'd send it back after such an abysmal failure, right? The alleged purpose of this expedition was erosion plant studies in Central Asia. Of course. Don't leave home without it. Which modern academics agree was a cover story for something else entirely. The expedition was signed off by President Roosevelt himself and funded by the Secretary of Agriculture and future Vice President Henry Wallace. Henry Wallace described Nicholas Rourke as his guru. So this guy who allegedly just went east and had all these repeated failed missions, the Vice President describes him as his guru. Interesting. During this second expedition, the Rourkes would disappear in the Himalayas for another 3 months. Again, on return, the expedition was deemed a failure. Damn. Only 3 months this time. Did they know where they were going this time? They knew where the entrance was this time. It didn't take them so long to get in there, huh? Ah. Don't mind me. I'm just a curious little rhino. Let's check back on the chat. All right, we got LA Young in the house. What's up? We got Gavin King. Oh, Mr. Super Sidewinder, welcome. We got Meta Yarby in the house. What's up, buddy? Yeah, Michael Kahn says extraterrestrial, extra land. Yeah, that's what I say, bro. 100%. Thank you. Yeah, you summarized that perfectly. Thank you. Extraterrestrial, extra land. Yeah, exactly. L.A. Young says entrance is found at the North Pole. Shambhala, so they claim. Admiral Byrd makes that claim. The aurora borealis from the vegetations, the nitrogen seeping up from the part of the North Pole. Yeah, and you know, if they do indeed have their own sun right down there, like the legends say, well, is it possible that we could see parts of the sun radiating from the surface? Are there large caverns open from down there, and this light shines through sometimes? Is that what the aurora borealis could possibly be? I don't know. Speculating. Interesting. Welcome, everybody. Now, 1928 was the year the party was missing. This was the longest time they were missing during their expeditions. At some point, the Roerich expedition discovered a remote monastery known as the Trasilumpo Lamaserie. Upon entering, Nicholas was shocked to see a massive, tall structure in the middle of the temple. As if anticipating this moment, the abbot of the monastery walked up to him and presented a black gem, 5 inches long, on an ornate carrying pillow. Oh, what do you guys think it is, huh? What do you think this tall structure was that shocked him so, huh? Was it some kind of piece of tech or something? Remaining tech? Was it Antiqua tech he saw? What would surprise this guy, right? What do you guys think he was handed? What do you guys think the monk's going to hand him? Let's check out the chat. You guys ever hear of the Philosopher's Stone? Well, this stone that Nicholas Roerich is about to receive from this monk is also known as the Eastern Philosopher's Stone. The abbot said to Nicholas upon handing him the stone, "Know how to use it, and not how to misuse it." The abbot warned Nicholas. He then revealed the stone's identity, calling it lapis exilis, the stone of exile, and one of the 3 split fragments of the Chintamani meteorite. Some call it the Philosopher's Stone of the East. Wow! So don't forget that the works are claiming to being led by psychic communication with some spiritual being that calls itself a master Roria or something like that. And when he gets to this monastery, the abbot, as if in anticipation of the event, like he was waiting for him, like he knew he was coming somehow, huh? And he gives him this stone and tells him, "Look, bro, don't misuse it. It's powerful. We're gonna trust you with this shit, but bro, seriously, keep it on the DL because, right? They don't want some guy talking about on YouTube way down the road as a secret or something, right?" Oops. Oh, cool. Gavin King says, "Hey, welcome, buddy. If you check the few videos on my channel, I have the entire original video extremely hard to find anywhere. I don't give shits about views to my channel. I am only saying to go there to raise awareness." Hey, that's cool, buddy. Yeah, guys, check out Gavin King. See, he's got some content to check out. Yeah, Meta Yarvi makes a good point. He says, "We will break every treaty except that one agreed to every country on Earth." Yeah, the Inner Earth, what's it called? The Atlantic Treaty or whatever it's called. Yeah, L.A. Young says it's something like the Sorcerer's Stone. Exactly, L.A. Young. And listen, you know in Harry Potter, right? The Sorcerer's Stone or the Philosopher's Stone. Do you remember the name of the alchemist who had the stone before Dumbledore? His name was Nicholas Flamel. Well, this guy in this story, his name is Nicholas. Huh? Huh? Anybody? No? Truth and fiction much? Now, this stone is allegedly a piece of a meteorite. And we know space is a little, the current space narrative is a little wobbly. So, what could it possibly actually be, huh? Like something fell from the sky at some point, possibly off the firmament. I don't know. A piece of the firmament fell down. Are these stones fragments of firmament? Of the firmament? We're gonna get deep, guys, because don't forget, Nicholas works no dummy. He actually examines the stone scientifically here. We're gonna go over it. In the days following, Nicholas examined his Chintamani fragment, guessing it to be made of moldavite, a magnetic mineral used in occult practices, believed to connect to the spiritual realm. In his words, the fragment resembled an electric accumulator and may give back in one way or another the energy stored within it. For instance, it will increase the spiritual vitality of anyone who touches it, infusing him with knowledge or enhancing psychic abilities. Now, I don't know if there's any correlation with this, but I just want to say that this material, this moldavite stuff, it is used in occult practices and it is lightly magnetic. Doesn't this material or this consistency of this color, guys, doesn't this remind you of anything we've been covering on the channel here? Like the Emerald Tablets of Thoth? Are the Emerald Tablets of Thoth made of this shit? Is there some kind of way, some kind of technology you can use, some kind of way, technologically way to use this moldavite stuff? Do they use it in modern tech? Anyone know? I know people use it for like, oh, I wear it as a necklace and it heals me, blah, 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 whatever, but I wonder how you could really use it. Interesting, though. Let's check back on the chat real quick. On the stone's exterior, etched in Sanskrit, were the following words: "Through the stars I come. I bring the chalice covered with the shield. Within it, I bring treasure, the gift of Orion." Yeah, maybe you guys could help me out with this one. I have no freaking clue. What do you guys think it's talking about? Hit that like button for me, guys. I really appreciate it. Sherry Ives says her dog's name was Harry Potter. Whoa. Did you call him Harry Potter, like just by his first name? Or was his last name Potter? Gavin King says a star chart. Yeah, you think they etched a star chart onto this 4-inch stone? Possibly. So you had a microscope or something, magnifying glass to look at. I'm trying to figure out what the gift of Orion is. Yeah, it's interesting. In the Testament of Solomon, shooting stars are demons. They're demons moving in and out of the firmament. Le Young says, "Not used, but I dreamed there was a place that was damaged and a capsule that covered an Emerald City that got cracked and messed up. It repairs itself. Yeah, Gavin King. It's a small stone he has. This lapis lazuli. Here, I'll go back. You check it out, bro. Yeah, the abbot of the monastery walked up to him and presented a black gem, 5 inches long, on an ornate carrying pillow. On the stone's exterior, etched in Sanskrit, were the following words: "Through the stars I come. I bring the chalice covered with the shield. Within it, I bring treasure, the gift of Orion." Yeah, I know Orion's belt, those 3 stars, whatever. It's interesting that, or whatever the fuck they tell stars are. I think they're souls in the firmament, but yeah, the gift of Orion. I wonder if that's a demon or something. Now, the theory goes that any of the 3 fragments of the Chintamani can be used to find and enter Shambhala. So Nicholas Wark in his diary received one of these, okay? Don't forget, Nicholas Wark is also searching for the lost kingdom of Shambhala. So if Nicholas Wark came to possess a true Chintamani fragment, it could have been the key he needed to complete his mission and access the hidden kingdom. Ooh. You guys think he found it? So this stone, you can use it to find the kingdom, allegedly. Um, there's this movie about Agartha. Gosh, hold on, I'm going to look up the title real quick. Anyways, it's a Japanese animated film. I think it's on Netflix. Children who listen to radios at night or something weird like that. Type in Journey to Agartha on Google, it'll come right up. But there's this animated film, and gosh, I swear to God, it shows everything. It shows all the truth. These kids have these stones they wear around their neck, and they use them to get within these subterranean chambers. They call it Agartha and everything. Oh, Gavin King says Orion is a full constellation that looks like a person firing an arrow, not just the belt. Please just call me Gavin. Oh, okay, cool.